Dope, man. So, I guess you want to go first?
Yeah, man, that's cool. I'm cool with that. That's no problem. You cut this music down right quick. My bad, bro. Yeah, man. My name's Selected. My official name is Nigel, but most people call me Selected. Um, I'm from Plantation, Florida. I wasn't born in Plantation. I come from small backgrounds. My parents are from the Caribbean, so we're like the first gen here in
Oh,
America.
dope.
Yeah, my dad's from Grenada. Got to visit that for the first time. This winter. It was actually really amazing. I'm not gonna lie. It was, I guess you can say, worth the wait. Um, my mom's from Trinidad. Most people know Trinidad because Carnival and other things. But my mom's from Trinidad, and yeah, that kind of sums up the small beginnings that we're from, and been living here in Miami with my family ever since, man. Ever since. Um, I'm about 28. How old are you? I don't know how old you are. I'm like 28, but
I'm 31 now.
see, you got 3 years on me. You got 3 years on me. I know you're up
Oh,
north.
man.
You're up north, so I've seen a couple of things. I've been here for I guess my first score, as some people would say. But yeah, man, that kind of sums up. I guess where I've been. I'm actually super excited to be able to work with you guys, or just work with different creatives. I don't know. You're like the second person I've got to work with, and I think it's super dope. Just because, like I said, coming from a beginning like that, usually our parents are very most Caribbean parents, as you know, are very, stern. I don't want to say the wrong word. They're very stern on how they raise their children. Usually,
Yeah.
that out route is like go to college, make sure you build something for yourself. And I'm coming from like a family. Both my parents, obviously, I am with them, and I have two brothers and a sister. So we've got a pretty good sized family. So that's kind of been I guess the message that they would preach to us when we were younger. But to be able to do this creative aspect, wow, and don't get me wrong, I did do the whole schooling route, so I'm not jumping there. But to be able to do this whole creative aspect where I can work with you guys, do music, I have a clothing line. Most people
Oh,
don't
dope,
know.
man. Dope.
Yeah, my clothing line, the name of it is Alliance Heart. You can check us out. It's allianceheart.com. Um, we got some cool stuff coming out in December, getting ready to actually do God willing, you feel me, denim line hopefully in 2021. I was trying to
Oh,
push
snap.
really, yeah, man, I was trying to push really hard to do that this year, but pandemic and everything, finances
Yeah, yeah.
getting tossed around a little bit. Stuff shifts. You just got to adapt with the time, with where you're going. But yeah, man, coming from a small background like that, just to be able to stay focused enough, get to 28. They always say most black men, me and you have, I guess, done a tremendous thing. Most black men don't make it past 21. They say, right? So to be able to,
Holy cow, really?
that's what you've never heard that before.
No, I have
Oh my
not.
God, bro! Yeah, usually because of the way the system is set up for us here in America, most black men are either incarcerated or don't make it past 21. Yeah, man, that's a real stat.
Oh, man, that
So
is
not even
scary.
not even to say it in a scary manner. I'm just saying it like I'm blessed. I feel like both you can also consider yourself blessed. You know what I mean? Just to be able to have gotten to 31, and you're creative as well. So I feel like it's super dope. I'm excited to be able to do stuff like this. Like I said, you're the second person I've worked with, but super excited, man. Like if I could have chosen anything, I'm glad I chose this as a path in life. What
Yeah,
about you,
man.
man? What about you? Where are you from? You can
Okay,
go
so
ahead.
just a quick little backstory about myself. I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
Cool.
Both of my parents, they were in the military, and
Okay.
they kind of traveled all around. So instead of being, I guess, taught like, because here I would say regionally, it does affect how you grow up. It really does.
Yeah.
And because they were able to travel the world and stuff, I
Got a different
kind of was.
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I went to art schools growing up and stuff, and
See,
I
that's
did the
dope.
music thing. So
You
it
got
was
to tell me before. I'm so sorry, but you got to tell me the places you traveled, like through that journey with your parents, because I know
oh,
some pretty dope places more than likely.
they actually did, but I ended
Ah.
up. Yeah, they lived in California, Germany,
Okay, that's cool.
all over the place. But for me, I was the last of four, so
Okay,
they ended
okay.
up in South Carolina, and yeah, I did the art thing. All around, I played viola in school mostly, and
Okay.
their biggest thing was just to let all of us, all my brothers and sisters, just kind of figure out what we want to do, and then they'll encourage it. And not too pushy with stuff. You know,
Oh, okay.
both of, my mom was like religious and whatnot, so certain things, you know. It was. I'll just say it. Like I grew up conservative, man. Like I think this is going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, like I tell people, like some people don't believe me. Like I used to watch Fox News with my parents, like with my mom. Like I was sitting there watching like O'Reilly Factor, thinking like he was the coolest dude, you know, for like shutting down his host and all that stuff. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, it was completely
no, that's
different.
Dope. That's dope. Yeah. That's so, a different perspective. Like, that's dope.
It is, you know, it helped too because, like, you know, like I said, I am an artist, and I'm pretty sure most artists and people involved in the arts and music and stuff, you know where they lean politically. So, having that background and then growing up to how I am now, which, you know, I'm not the same.
Exactly.
Like I used to.
Exactly.
So I always
transformed a little bit.
Yeah, you know, I try to look at things on both sides of the fence whenever it comes to things. You know, I like try to.
So it just comes down to, like, you know, it sounds like your parents, or, you know, just both of our parents just did that really solid job of laying that foundation down so that we can be able to have something, you know what I mean? To be able to have something to go back to and be like, okay, we can make cognitive decisions. But that's awesome. That's awesome.
It's interesting, man. So, you know, I grew up that way, and then I did the whole classical thing, penguin suit, to being in a rock band, to rapping, and then now I produce, and I was DJing for hip hop violinists, but now, you know, with this pandemic,
you know, kind of give you a little step back, huh?
Yeah, you know, it was good. It's awful that so many people died, but at the same time, you know, I feel like a lot of people have come out of, you know, their shells. Yeah, a bit stronger. I mean, people that really were reclusive, you know, are now opening up because the option of being social is taken away. So now, like,
you're really getting to see.
I feel like, yeah. So, like, I usually, like, my biggest thing with music, like, I decided that I'm only going to work with a certain clientele. I'm not going to produce for anybody except for the people I work with, because I just really didn't feel like it. I didn't like convincing people stuff, but now
was it more like you didn't want to have to sell it, or was it like?
It was more or less like I felt like a chameleon at times. You know, when you're producing music for a bunch of other people, you can't make what you like. You have to make what other people like. So
yeah,
I have to produce. Like if I'm producing something for you, I'm not gonna, you know, sing you what I like. I'll try to listen to you and make a, you know, informed decision from there.
No, I understand. So, I get that. So do you feel like with this pandemic now you're more honed in on the people you want to work with, or like you said, it's kind of broadened your horizon where you're more like, I can just kind of figure out what the sound is, I guess, all around and help you get as close to that sound as possible?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm more open, I would say, to like even the fact that we're doing this. You know, like it's that's you know something in itself, because I don't know, I'm the type of person where I like to start something and finish it, you know, by myself, you know, even if I do work with other people, because it's like, well, I kind of want to, like, you know, do it myself, you know, like just
you know, I understand. You're one of those people where it's like, just break down to me exactly what you need, and I'm a solo kind of a guy. I can get that done. I definitely understand that.
So I mean, it's interesting though.
That is.
Pandemic is good for a lot of artists, you know.
I mean, you know what? If I'm being honest, can I be honest with you for a second? When it comes to doing this creative stuff, sometimes I do feel like, hey, I kind of do want to work with myself, but I come from a background because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't always able to be a creative. This is kind of like my beginning stint to it, and I hope I have an amazing time. I think I know I'm going to have an amazing time doing all this stuff. But I come from a background where it's teamwork. I'm like team oriented. Does that make sense? Huge sports fan. Basketball's my number one sport. LeBron, I'm not an MJ guy. I don't dislike MJ. I'm just not. I haven't watched any of his film. I wasn't in that era, so it doesn't connect to me. You know what I mean? I watched LeBron.
Yeah.
But I love LeBron so much because he's a team-oriented guy. So coming from my mindset of being team-oriented and always wanting to Like right now, I'm working on this project. It's my prelude to an album that, God willing, I can hopefully release 2021, 2022, right? So this project I'm working on right now, it's a prelude, and I want to be able to work with so many people. Does that make sense? Just because it's like, yo, I want to be able to go out there and have fun and do this. Like I've never been able to do this. This is about to be freaking amazing. You know what I mean? I want to go knock the socks off of it. But it's also, I battle those times where it's also like, oh man, I haven't done this before, so I got to kind of hone my own skills before I can just run out there and say I want to work with everybody. But
Yeah.
I've learned to work with myself, and I kind of grown to like it. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be a little honest. I've grown to just being able to be connected with just me and God and doing my job and doing what my masterpiece comes to, or manifesting it the way I saw it. You know what I mean? So it's interesting that you said that, just because I totally get where you're coming from, but I'm new to that because, like I said, I'm coming from somebody who's team oriented. Like I said, I come from a family of five, two brothers and a sister, and yeah, it's usually just kind of like we do things together. So, but like I said, I
Yeah.
definitely love this too. So we'll see. We'll
Yeah,
see
man. Well,
how it
I need to work
manifests.
with you more. I definitely do because you are, yeah. I mean, like complete opposites. When it comes to that, because
Yin
I
yang,
think
yin
it's
yang.
the whole classical music thing. It just kind of, you know, I've I don't know. It's just it's every man for himself type thing, and I almost feel like that's how it is with music and just in this country. Like you just
Yeah, I think I don't think it's just this country. I just think it's music, the industry. It's kind of like
yeah
every man for himself. And it's like once you've made that name, then everybody's like, oh, yeah, of course we can make, of course. I saw your messages about making music. Let's get that done. You know what I mean? But it's kind of like you got to make that strong staple yourself. Kind of sort of like you said, it's at the beginning of stage, I do feel like it's every man for himself. I feel like once I release this EP or mixtape, whatever it may be, then it'll be a little more like calm waters where it's like, all right, now I can just go out there and continue to display all of Nigel. You know what I mean? Um, and that's kind of what it boils down to. But I also look at it like, do you want in the beginning to work with everybody? I mean, yes, you do, but at the same time, like I said, I want to focus me personally to hone my skills so I know what I'm capable of. You know what a project sounds like just with me, and I've never taken on the stress of making a complete album before. So to me, you've kind of been doing this for a while, so you have a little more experience. You know what I mean? But this is my first one. I've never taken on the pressure of doing this, so there is an expectation that you always set for yourself versus the what comes out, what manifests. So what I've been doing is, I thank God I made a really good shell of what I wanted it to sound like, and I just been going in and adding just features of Nigel, to the
yeah
album to make it feel more like me. And I feel like if I can sit here and listen to the album straight through, and I feel like, yeah, that definitely displays emotions of Nigel, and I've done a pretty solid job at the beginning because that's what everybody's gonna hear, that's what they're gonna see. So that's gonna, I guess, kind of open up the window of who I can and can't work with, I guess. You know?
yeah. And it's I definitely I would say that I always tell artists and even people just wanting to do it for fun or not for fun. I tell them to create stuff. You got to like start making stuff on your own and
Yeah.
trust in yourself. And then when you get other people involved, then you'll have an idea and have a way to convey your messages and ideas. Because sometimes if you don't know what you're doing, you can't. You don't.
But a
You can't
lot of that
explain
is
things.
just a lot of
Yeah.
that, is just, if anybody, well, with the people who are going to listen to this podcast, and if anybody's on live with us right now,